Hello, my name is Unique and I am a student nurse at NCCU. This is Faith. She is going to be my patient for today. I'm going to do a full head to toe assessment on her. First, I'm going to show my note card that I'll be using. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. So first off, I'm going to start by assessing her skin, looking for color and symmetry, and also temperature. So I'm just going to look at your skin here. All right, and slide this up. Okay. All right, and then I'm just going to look at your skin down here. All right. So her skin is symmetric. She does not have any cyanosis or pallor when I'm looking at her skin. And her temperature is warm and her color is consistent with her genetic background. So next I'm going to go ahead and move to the eyes. When I'm looking at the eyes, I'm looking for any drainage, symmetry. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so I don't see any drainage when looking at her eyes. I don't see any redness or edema around her eyes. I also don't see any, I think I said drainage. Did I say drainage? I didn't see any drainage. So next I'm going to move to palpating her sinuses. And I'm going to palpate her maxillary. And then I'm going to palpate her frontal. Do you feel any tenderness or pain when I'm palpating?
No.
Alright. So she did not feel any tenderness or pain when I palpated her sinuses. So next I'm going to go ahead and test her cranial nerves. Cranial nerves 3, 4, and 6. I'm going to go ahead and test those. And I'm going to be testing for Perler, so I'm going to be making sure that her pupils are equal, round, reactive to the light, and accommodate. So first off, what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit the light so that I can do the light test. Okay, so I'm going to bring this in from the side. Oh, they're not going to be able to do this. Okay. Okay, so her pupils did constrict when I did the light test, so her pupils is reactive to light. So now I'm going to test the 6 locations on the cranial nerve. So just follow my pen. No, not with, sorry, follow my pen with your eyes, just with your eyes. I'm not giving you the right instructions. Follow my pen with your eyes. Okay. Alright, so I did that, the position test, the diagnostic test, and now I'm going to test for accommodation. Alright, so follow this pen. It's going to get close to your nose, so just follow it all the way to your nose. Alright, so her pupils were equal, round, reactive to light, and accommodate with the test, and that means that her cranial nerves 3, 4, and 6 are intact. So next I'm going to move to cranial nerve 5, and that is going to be assessing her teeth. So what I'm going to do is get you to clench your teeth like you're chewing on something. Alright, I'm going to feel her masseter and also feel her temporal. Alright, so that cranial nerve is intact. So next I'm going to test her facial nerve. So what I want you to do is smile for me. Alright, frown. Alright, puff out your cheeks. Okay, So that cranial nerve, the facial nerve is intact. So next I'm going to test cranial nerve 12, and that's going to be her hypoglossal. So what I want you to do is stick your tongue out and move your tongue from side to side. Alrighty. Okay, so that cranial nerve is intact. Also, while I'm doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and test for her her cranial nerve 9 and 10, and look at her uvula and her soft palate. So this works. I just got out of sleep. So I'm gonna need you to poke out your tongue. Say ah.
Ah.
Keep saying it.
Ah.
Okay. So her cranial nerve 9 and 10 is intact. When she said ah, the uvula did rise. Next I'm going to also test her gag reflexes. Okay, so her gag reflex is intact, and also her cranial nerve 15 is intact because she can talk to me and she can also swallow. So the next thing I'm going to look at, I'm going to sit this down. I'm going to look at her nose and assess that and inspect her nose and make sure that there's no patency, and also that the septum is not deviated and the nose is midline. So when looking at her nose, I can see that it is midline. It's right in the middle of her face. There's no septum deviation. So what I need you to do, I'm going to test for patency. What I need you to do is occlude one nostril and then blow out the other one. All right, and do the same thing with the other one. All right, so there's nothing blocking her nostrils, so there's no patency there. So what I'm going to do is test her cranial nerve 11 now. I'm going to get her to shrug her shoulders regular, and then I'm going to apply resistance and get her to shrug her shoulders then. And I'm also going to look at her neck and get her to turn her head side to side. So go ahead and shrug your shoulders for me. All right, shrug them. Okay, so look from left to right. All right, now do look to the right. Okay, and then look to this end. All right. Okay, so she did that with ease. So her strength is a 5. With that, her cranial nerve is intact. 11. So now I'm going to look at her ears and palpate her ears and look and make sure there's no tenderness, no masses, lumps, lesions, no drainage or anything of that sort. And then I'm also going to do the whisper test. So what I want you to do is tell me if you feel any pain or tenderness when I'm palpating, okay? All right, do you feel any tenderness?
No.
Okay. So there's no drainage coming from the ear. It doesn't look like there's any lesions or edema on her ear. So that is good. So now I'm going to go ahead and perform the whisper test with her. So what I want you to do is I want you to hold this ear closed, and I'm going to say 3 words. I want you to repeat those 3 words back to me, and then I want you to do it on the other side the same way. Okay? All right. Don't look at me.
Cat, dog, rat.
Okay.
Beaver, car, dam.
All right. Okay, so the whisper test was positive. She did well on that.